The Dallas Cowboys knew they had to make some changes. The previous season hadn't gone as planned. Key players were injured. With a new season fast approaching, the pressure was on to turn things around. The Cowboys had just 6 days to find their form and build momentum. The coaching staff knew that time was of the essence. They needed to evaluate the roster and instill a winning mentality. The Cowboys had to make the most of every opportunity to improve. The sense of urgency was palpable. Players felt it, coaches felt it, and the fans felt it too. The 6-day turnaround was crucial for setting the tone for the season ahead. This team was determined to prove the doubters wrong. The Cowboys knew they needed to bolster their defense. They needed a player who could clog up the middle and stop the run. They found their man in Jordan Phillips, a veteran defensive tackle. The Cowboys acquired Phillips in a trade that surprised many. Phillips had a reputation for being a disruptive force. He had the potential to be a game-changer for the Cowboys' defense. It was a clear signal that the Cowboys were serious about upgrading their defense. Fans were excited about the addition of Phillips. They knew that a strong defense was essential for the Cowboys to compete for a championship. Phillips's arrival brought a renewed sense of optimism to Dallas. The Cowboys had taken a bold step towards building a championship-caliber defense. Jordan Phillips didn't waste any time making his presence felt. From the moment he stepped onto the practice field, it was clear that he was a difference maker. His size and strength were immediately apparent. He was a force to be reckoned with in the trenches. In practice, Phillips consistently pushed the pocket, collapsing the offensive line and disrupting the quarterback's timing. He was a nightmare for opposing running backs, clogging up running lanes and making tackles for loss. The Cowboys' defense looked more formidable with Phillips in the lineup. Phillips's impact wasn't limited to the practice field. In the Cowboys' first preseason game, he was a dominant force. He made plays all over the field, recording several tackles and a sack. He was a constant presence in the backfield, disrupting the opposing offense's rhythm. The Cowboys' coaching staff was impressed with Phillips's performance. He had exceeded their expectations. Phillips was quickly becoming a leader on the defensive side of the ball. His work ethic and intensity were contagious. He was inspiring his teammates to raise their level of play. Deuce Vaughn was a fan favorite. The diminutive running back had captured the hearts of Cowboys fans with his electrifying speed and his never-give-up attitude. But Vaughn had been sidelined with an injury, and his return to the field was eagerly anticipated. Vaughn's comeback was nothing short of spectacular. He looked fully recovered from his injury, showing no signs of rust. He was as elusive as ever, making defenders miss in tight spaces. His speed was still there, as he burst through holes and outran defenders to the edge. In the Cowboys' preseason game, Vaughn was the spark plug of the offense. He provided an instant jolt of energy every time he touched the ball. He was a threat to score from anywhere on the field. The Cowboys had missed his big play ability. Vaughn's performance was a testament to his hard work and dedication. He had attacked his rehabilitation with the same ferocity he displayed on the field. He was determined to come back stronger than ever, and he had succeeded. It was the third quarter of the preseason game, and the Cowboys' offense was struggling to find its rhythm. They needed a spark, something to get the crowd back into the game. Enter Deuce Vaughn. Vaughn took a handoff from the quarterback and headed towards the right sideline. He saw a crease and accelerated through the hole. He made a defender miss with a quick cut, then outraced another defender to the edge. He turned upfield and sprinted down the sideline, leaving defenders in his wake. The crowd erupted as Vaughn raced towards the end zone. He had broken free for a 60-yard touchdown run. The Cowboys' sideline went wild. Vaughn had provided the spark they desperately needed. His run changed the momentum of the game. That run was a microcosm of what Deuce Vaughn brought to the Cowboys' offense. He was a home run threat every time he touched the ball. His speed, agility, and vision made him a nightmare for opposing defenses. Trey Lance, the Cowboys' young quarterback, was under a lot of scrutiny. He had shown flashes of brilliance, but he had also struggled with consistency. The Cowboys needed Lance to take a step forward if they wanted to compete for a championship. During the 6-day turnaround, Lance seemed to find his groove. He looked more comfortable in the pocket, going through his progressions and making quick decisions. His accuracy improved, and he showed a better understanding of the offense. Lance's performance in the preseason game was encouraging. He wasn't perfect, but he made some impressive throws. He showed poise under pressure and the ability to extend plays with his legs. He looked like a different quarterback than he had just a few days earlier. The Cowboys coaching staff was pleased with Lance's progress. They knew he was still a work in progress, but they saw the potential in him. They believed that with more experience in coaching, Lance could develop into a franchise quarterback. The Cowboys had a lot riding on Trey Lance's shoulders. He was their quarterback of the future, and they needed him to develop into a star. Lance's performance during the 6-day turnaround gave the team a reason to be optimistic. Lance's improved play instilled confidence in his teammates. They saw a quarterback who was starting to put it all together. They rallied around him, believing that they could win with him under center. The Cowboys' offense looked more explosive with a confident Lance leading the way. The coaching staff's belief in Lance never wavered. They had seen his work ethic and his dedication to improving. They knew he had the talent to be special. Lance's progress during the 6-day turnaround confirmed their faith in him. The Cowboys were excited about Lance's future. They believed they had found their franchise quarterback. Now it was just a matter of Lance continuing to grow and develop. The future looked bright for Lance and the Cowboys. Section 8. Brandon Aubrey, the long-distance specialist. Brandon Aubrey, the Cowboys kicker, was an unknown commodity. He was a rookie who had been signed as an undrafted free agent. The Cowboys were hoping he could provide a reliable kicking game, but they didn't know what to expect from him. Aubrey quickly proved that he had a powerful leg. He consistently boomed kicks through the uprights during practice. He had the distance to make field goals from long range, which was a valuable weapon for the Cowboys. In the preseason game, Aubrey had a chance to showcase his leg strength. The Cowboys were lined up for a field goal attempt from 66 yards out. It was a long kick, even for the most experienced kickers. Aubrey lined up the kick and let it fly. The ball sailed through the air, splitting the uprights with room to spare. The crowd went wild. Aubrey had just made the longest field goal in Cowboys history. Section 9. Aubrey's leg strength adds a new dimension. Brandon Aubrey's 66-yard field goal was more than just a highlight reel play. It was a sign of things to come. Aubrey's leg strength added a new dimension to the Cowboys' offense. They knew they could count on him to make kicks from long distances. Aubrey's powerful leg gave the Cowboys a scoring threat from almost anywhere on the field. Opposing defenses had to respect his range, which made it more difficult to defend the Cowboys' offense. Aubrey's presence forced defenses to play more conservatively. The Cowboys' coaching staff was impressed with Aubrey's composure. He didn't let the pressure of the moment get to him. He approached every kick with the same calm demeanor. He was a valuable asset for the Cowboys. Aubrey's emergence as a reliable kicker was a huge boost for the Cowboys. They knew they had found a special talent. Aubrey's leg strength would be a major weapon for the Cowboys for years to come. Section 10. Cooper Beebe, a contender emerges. The Cowboys had a battle brewing at the center position. Cooper Beebe, a rookie offensive lineman, was making a strong case for the starting job. Beebe had been drafted in the later rounds, but he had impressed the coaching staff with his work ethic and his physicality. Beebe was a mauler in the run game. He drove defenders off the line of scrimmage, creating running lanes for the Cowboys' running backs. He was also a capable pass blocker, using his quick feet and long arms to keep defenders away from the quarterback. In the preseason game, Beebe had a chance to prove himself against NFL competition. He more than held his own, going toe-to-toe with some of the best defensive linemen in the league. He showed that he belonged. The Cowboys coaching staff was excited about Beebe's potential. He was a quick learner who was constantly improving. He had the potential to be a dominant offensive lineman in the NFL. Section 11. A team transformed, ready for the challenges ahead. The 6-day turnaround had a transformative effect on the Dallas Cowboys. They entered the period with a sense of urgency, knowing they had to improve quickly. They emerged from those 6 days a different team. The Cowboys had added key pieces to their roster, bolstering their defense and special teams. They had seen young players step up and veterans rediscover their form. Most importantly, they had rediscovered their confidence and their swagger. The Cowboys knew that the road ahead would be challenging. They would face tough opponents and adversity along the way, but they were ready for the challenge. They had the talent, the coaching, and the belief to compete for a championship. The Cowboys' journey was just beginning, but they had taken the first step towards a successful season. The 6-day turnaround had laid the foundation for a promising future. The Cowboys were back,